Hello, welcome to the second day of the 21 days of redefining happiness. I hope that day one went very well for you. I know it may have caused you to probably think about a lot of things and having to assess where your state of happiness is in this very moment and what is your current definition of happiness. But day two, we're going to talk about why unhappiness exists. And for some of you, we've kind of dealt with it if you did the 21 days of healing, which was the first course for this series. But in some ways, in this particular 21 days of redefining happiness, we will revisit some of what we discussed or what we actually learned. I have realized that part of a great deal of unhappiness comes from the inability to filter unhealthy emotions. And those unhealthy emotions are developed over time. And we're just not aware because depending on how you were brought up, depending on your culture, and speaking more to the African American culture, we are taught basically to have this mindset to keep it moving, right? And not understanding that we have experienced certain things that is really considered trauma that creates PTSD. And so we kind of find ourselves moving and believing because I'm no longer in the situation that it no longer exists. But in my experience, in my profession, I've learned that the pain is moving with us. It's invisible, right? And so we move around with things such as, dishonesty because we won't be real about what actually has happened to us. We create blind spots because they help us to create dysfunctional synchronicity, and it's in some ways it help us not to see ourselves clearly. And because we've had these negative experiences, we develop hate that we don't know that we're carrying, right? We develop resentment, and we feel that it is a badge of honor to carry it because I need to be justified in what happened to me. We carry bitterness and sometimes equate that as I'm just keeping it real. And these negative emotions cause us to operate in a low vibration, right? Then on top of that, I have all these negative emotions. I'm gonna take my sweater off for a minute. Well, untie it, I should say. I have all these negative emotions that I'm carrying, and I create the negative narrative. Now I am the victim. I don't want to take responsibility for the role that I played. I'm actually in agreement with these emotions because it feels safe, even though I'm stuck. I've been there, right? Where can I put this? And then on top of that, we are trying to use expired information to help us grow. I definitely was doing that, right? And the tragedy is I keep doing the same thing over and over, thinking it's going to change and bring what I think I need, but it doesn't, because I won't reevaluate my belief system. And reevaluating your belief system doesn't mean that there's anything wrong, totally wrong with your belief system. It's that we won't even put things on the table to say, should I, look at what I've been doing and seeing if it still is valuable, right, to me in the state or this phase of where I am. And so in the spirit realm, this is what we look like. This is exactly what we look like. This is what our inside look like. And because we can't physically see it, we don't even know that all this toxicity is actually happening inside of our bodies. We won't grieve. We keep pushing emotions down. We tell ourselves these stories over and over and over again. We say things that sound good. We cling on to empty cliches, but yet nothing is helping us to grow. Nothing is shifting us and putting us in a position to help us to reevaluate where I really am. I said in the 21 days of healing that you cannot begin healing with a lie. The same goes for redefining happiness. You cannot create happiness with a lie. I have to be honest about where I am. I have to tell the truth and sit in that. Be honest about these negative emotions that I'm carrying, and question or put on the table and say, listen, am I in agreement with this negative narrative? And if your first response was no, then you're not starting out right. Because in the spirit realm, in the invisible realm, this is what most of us look like. This is what we're carrying around. We put band-aids on things. We try to dress it up. We try to church it out. We try to shout it out. We try to have, put on this image. And the reality is that I don't care. You can lie to me. You can lie to your mom. You can lie to your dad. You can lie to whoever. But please don't lie to yourself. Please don't. Don't do that. Because the more that you lie to yourself, that's dishonesty. The more that you lie to yourself, you keep that bitterness and resentment and hate growing on the inside. And then you operate in this low vibration. And then when you operate in a low vibration, your throat chakra is not, it's not vibrant. It's closed up. I'm telling you, be honest with yourself about where you are. God, the universe, source, or whatever you want to call it, honest truth. Jesus said, and the truth shall make you free. He didn't quantify what that truth was. He didn't say, well, tell the truth that you're a sinner. He just said, and the truth shall make you free. Tell yourself the truth. Welcome to day 2 of Redefining Happiness. See you tomorrow.